Welcome to Allentown. This is where our journey begins, right here in the main city of Eastern PA and the Lehigh Valley, Allentown. Hello, my name is Cynthia. I'm with Cinderella Sells and the Living in Eastern PA channel. I am so glad that you have found us, and I hope that you will journey along with me as we explore everything there is to know about living, working, and relocating to Eastern PA. Of course, Allentown is located on the eastern part of the state of PA. Allentown is the third largest city behind Philadelphia, which is far and above everything else. Pittsburgh on the other side of the state, Allentown is third. It's got a great location in regards to Philly or New York City. It has a population of about 125,000, while many of you who are from major metropolises may not consider that a city. It is our city. This is the closest that we have to a city, and in many ways, it is a city. It's heavily trafficked and populated, and it is busy and buzzing, and some of you may only know Allentown through one avenue, and that is the Billy Joel song that was recorded over 40 years ago, Living in Allentown. And the main line of that song, of course, was, "We are living here in Allentown, where they're closing all the factories down." Now, while he was really only referring to one business, and that would be Bethlehem Steel, we affectionately call it the Steel here, that really did, when the steel closed, begin sort of a downward slide for industry here in Eastern PA. It's been a little while. It's been more than 40 years since the song was recorded, and a lot has happened in those 40 years. Now, in my almost 20 years living in Eastern PA, I think that there have been two things that have happened that have really contributed to the renaissance of Allentown. The first was in 2008, when the Philadelphia Phillies decided to bring their AAA ball team here. And they built a beautiful, wonderful stadium, which there's going to be a video strictly about that team and that stadium. But the moving in of that ball team as an affiliate of the Phillies really sparked a lot of development and building here on the west side of the Lehigh Valley. So fewer than 10 years ago, this space was purchased and this space was developed, and it now is home to the Philadelphia Flyers farm team, the Phantoms, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. So this is the PPL Center. And PPL, by the way, is a local energy company. They're headquartered here. And this is the huge ice arena where the Phantoms play. Now, as you can see behind me by the scrolling sign, there's a lot more that happens here as well. There's ice shows, and there's concerts, and all sorts of entertainment that happens here in the PPL Center. I believe that due to the birth of this happening, everything around me has happened as well. And while you're not going to see or know what was here before, I don't even remember what this intersection looked like before. It is quite impressive right now. We have housing, we have retail, we have industry, we have commercial development, and people are coming to Allentown in ways that they haven't for many, many years. So we are thrilled. Even if I'm completely wrong and the rebirth didn't happen with these two events, we're just happy that developers saw the potential in this location and have begun to put Allentown back on the map. So the PPL Center has been here for 9 years. It has a max capacity of 8,700. I have been in some of the boxes. They are very nice. Attached to the PPL Center is a beautiful hotel, and I love the name because I think that it is so right on. It's called the Renaissance Hotel, and it is gorgeous. It really is lovely. Very nice restaurant in there, the Dime. And I did take some views. I was up on the top floor, the 5th floor, and I did take some views from one of the windows up there. PPL, of course, is one of the major employers here in Eastern PA. While they aren't in the top 5, they are in the top 30. PPL is an energy company. This is also sponsored by the Lehigh Valley Health Network. Now, the Lehigh Valley Health Network is the top employer in Eastern PA, followed closely by St. Luke's Health Network. We have 2 major health networks here in Eastern PA, and we love that. Why? Because they're constantly in competition with one another. So they're constantly looking to bring better and more and outdo one another with doctors, treatments, and facilities. So they have a lot of facilities all over Eastern PA, both in the Lehigh Valley and in the Poconos. So we are very happy to have both of those major networks. I've used both of them, have no complaints. I'm gonna pick up my camera now, and I'm just going to take you around the neighborhoods here, the streets, show you some of the retail developments, show you some of the changes that have happened here and what we're so excited about. Let's go. I just want to point out as I'm walking past this Renaissance Hotel that it used to be the Dime Savings and Trust Company. So I think it's very clever to have named their restaurant the Dime. And here is where we start our trek down 7th Street. Allentown is a great example of mixed architecture. So you can see we have a building here, probably close to 100 years old, and it melds beautifully with this much more modern one. Here is something that, again, the developer should be very proud of. Housing, retail, and commercial space, all beautifully and artistically melded together here in the Arts Walk. When I say that this is the place to be, I really mean it. Fire pits with Adirondack chairs here. You can imagine just how busy and fun this would be on a warm summer's evening. Oh, there's even a retail space for lease if you're looking for a business opportunity. I want to take you into the market. It's a great fun place to eat. Among the eateries in the downtown Allentown market are Chez Delicatessen, who are building classic sandwiches like the City Center Hero, served with a fried ravioli side. Enjoy Mediterranean dishes like baba ganoush, falafel, and shawarma. At Zara, they're the owners of the popular Aladdin restaurant in Allentown. Grab a bite at Johnny's Arts Walk Diner from the longtime owners of Johnny's Bagels and Deli. They've put a modern twist on classic dishes. When you're ready for a drink, there's Bar 1838. Beer, wine, and specialty cocktails means there's something for everyone. Casa Criolla is a passionate vendor offering authentic Latin cuisine with a blend of traditional spices and flavors. La Kang Thai Eatery is serving up flavor-packed Asian cuisine like pad thai, spring rolls, and my favorite, drunken noodles. Rendezvous Sushi Bar showcases fish from around the world with the freshest ingredients. Pasta and Pies is creating Italian classics in the market like the Sicilian pie. Whatever you have a hankering for, you can find it here at the downtown Allentown Market. here's Fruitables. It's like Pliables. These are so popular now, these fruit and yogurt bowls with granola and chia pudding. Yum! So these are the Strata flats at 4 City Center. These are some of those new and very desirable apartments and places to live. I tried to pop in and see what some of the average rents were. I wasn't able to get that information. However, I could certainly go to the website and drop a link down below. These are not available to purchase. They are only leased. But what a cool place to live and to walk out into this. We've stumbled upon Bell Hall here, which is probably what we'd call an eatery. And as you can see, it's the perfect warm weather space. Now, they do have indoor space as well. Just going to show you the menu here. Fortunately, I'm not hungry right now, because if I was, I would be all over that rib melt. Yum. Former Allentown Mayor Roy Offlerbach said, "The Lehigh Valley and Allentown are off to a new generation of enterprises that go far beyond the lyrics of Billy Joel's song." Gregory Karp wrote an article in the local newspaper, The Morning Call, in November of 2002 titled 20 Years of Allentown, What Has Changed and What Hasn't Since Billy Joel Turned This Region's Troubles into a Song. Back then, half the local economy relied on manufacturing. Today, it's only about 17%. Reliance on a few large factories is what made the economy vulnerable then. Bethlehem Steel crashed and manufacturing based in the Lehigh Valley started to unbuckle. At the same time, Mack Trucks was suffering because of the recession. All of a sudden, 2 of the major employers in the valley concurrently went into a bad time. These days, Bethlehem Steel doesn't make a scrap of steel locally, and Mack Trucks' manufacturing is a fraction of what it was. But the Lehigh Valley survived the demise of heavy manufacturing, and today its economy is more diverse. Proof is in the 2 recessions the valley has seen since 1982, roughly one a decade, in 1992 and 2002. Neither was as bad as the one in the early 80s by most any measure. The valley adjusted and diversified, and in 2002 and 92, when there were recessions, it didn't fall apart. Jobs in manufacturing turned to service jobs, especially healthcare and financial services. And a drive on Route 22 reveals huge office parks and distribution centers that have cropped up in the past 20 years. More of the same developed along Interstate 78, which didn't even exist in 1982. The old line was a guy with a strong back and a shovel heaping stuff into a furnace. Today, manufacturing is a PhD scientist in a white suit in a clean room. That's a classic example of the shift in manufacturing. 2 decades have made a huge difference in how people pursue careers. In 1982, the skills a factory worker had didn't necessarily matter. If you were not educated, not highly skilled, you could follow your old man into the mill and enjoy a middle-class life. Today, it's different. Workers need to have skills that are in demand, which often means knowing your way around computers and other high-tech equipment. To get into the manufacturing sector, to maintain that same level of income, you better have a whole different skill set than your father and grandfather said. And today, it's rare the worker who stays at a company for decades. The job-for-life culture no longer exists. It's only 20 years ago, which is a short time for a huge cultural shift in the employer-employee contract. Local journalist Daniel Sheehan wrote in March of 2014, "In Allentown of late, it's become apparent that something extraordinary is happening. The signs are obvious. Cranes on the skyline, swarms of hard-hatted construction workers, buildings rising beam by brick, and the conclusion is clear. Allentown is coming back to life. Allentown's long, slow fade began in the latter decades of the last century. The silk and textile mills, breweries, steel, Mack trucks, and other industries failed or departed for other places.
The downtown shopping district lost the upscale stores that made it a destination, primarily the famous Hess's department store, and gained a reputation that its downtown is only a dreary scattering of downscaled dollar stores, pawn shops, and cheaporama clothing outlets. If it is all accomplished and works as so many have hoped for so long, Allentown may reclaim its standing as a destination city and put the ghost of Hess's to rest at last.
I love that the American Medicine Company, you can see up there, has been transformed into one of these trendy axe-throwing places. That these old buildings are being given new life, and a whole new generation of people are going inside of them, living inside of them, and just enjoying them. Speaking of, right across the street from me is Zion's Reformed Church, founded in 1762, it says. I have found the store for my mother. My mother is a retired interior designer. We still put her to work though. And she loves, loves, loves a good refined store. In other words, secondhand, high quality, not full price store. That's my mom. I've stopped to do some filming here in front of the Americus Hotel. Obviously, this at one point was an actual hotel with short-term guests and so forth. And like so many things, it fell into disrepair. It wasn't being used as a hotel. I don't even know the whole story, but I just remember reading in the papers the back and forth about the Americus. And here we are, you can see it's a very large historic building. And as we walk by, it is being refurbished and renovated, hooray, hooray, into short and long-term stay apartment rentals, which is just awesome.
No downtown building has more personality than that Hamilton Street landmark, the Americus Hotel, which hosted presidents and celebrities in its heyday, but fell into the hands of a developer who came to treat it like an unwanted dog. It closed and decayed. For a time in the 2000s, the hotel was skirted by scaffolding to keep pieces of its facade from falling on the heads of pedestrians. Some of the upper story windows remained open to the elements for years, and a building born in the city's high times ended up a 13-story symbol of a lost past. Now, thankfully, it is in the hands of another developer who's been slowly restoring it. The building's reopening has been heralded as a prominent reminder of the old Allentown that will survive in the new.
We love when that happens, when we make the old new again and useful, and we don't just abandon things, right? Sorry, I'm speaking for myself. Windows on 6th. Delicious menu features elevated American cuisine with something for everyone. Salad, soup, sandwiches. Okay, breakfast looks great. That looks like a mojito. Thank you very much. And lunch. Yum. I just want to stop here and point something out because I think this is so typical of this area. So right here, you can see we've got 640 West Hamilton right there. It's a very modern, contemporary, sleek building. Right next to it is the old Lehigh Valley Trust Company. That is an original building. And then right next to that is a brand new Lehigh County Government Center. When we keep walking, we find yet another example of old architecture right there in the Zion's Reformed Church. While not everyone loves to see the old mixed with the new, I happen to be a big fan of it, and I think they've done a nice job here. Right next to Zion's Reformed Church is the Liberty Bell Museum. Now, the Liberty Bell is not here. It is in Philadelphia. So I'm not quite sure what the Liberty Bell Museum is, but it sure seems like something that my history-loving husband should check out.